It was a blackout at Dick Stadium this past Saturday for the Flash's homecoming football game versus Eastern Michigan. Could they get that elusive first win of the year?
There's a new freshman phenom in Columbus, and he formally introduced himself to the nation on Saturday night as the Buckeyes traveled to Michigan State.
And in the professional ranks, the Cleveland Browns took their first ever trip to Vegas to take on the Raiders in Allegiant Stadium. Did quarterback Deshaun Watson and company right the ship in Sin City? Find out as a new edition of Sportscorner starts right now. Welcome into Sportscorner, everybody. Thanks for joining us alongside Liv Sharp. I'm Matt Caroli. Well, Liv, it was a big day here in Kent, Ohio this past Saturday.
That's right, it was. It was homecoming, and the Flashes debuted their new all-black uniforms. Might I add, absolutely gorgeous. Love those jerseys. Those debuted in their game against Eastern Michigan.
But can all of that excitement translate on the field in terms of a win? Well, the short answer for Kent State on Saturday was no. The Golden Flashes got career-high games from Tommy Ulatowski and Krishawn McCray, but it was not enough in a 52-33 loss to Eastern Michigan on a soggy homecoming Saturday. Making his first start of the season, Ulatowski threw for 300-plus yards for the first time in his career with 15 completions and 3 touchdowns while running for a fourth. Although this was the most offense Kent State has produced all season. Abilities. It's a bye week coming up for Kent State, but they will be back at home hosting Ball State on October 12th.
We now shift to the Kent State women's soccer team. After starting conference play with 2 wins, they have now gone winless in 2 straight after a loss to Miami of Ohio and a draw to the defending conference champion Ohio Bobcats. The defense has been a bright spot in conference play as they have allowed only 1 goal through 360 minutes. The Flashes will look to respond on Saturday as they host the Western Michigan Broncos at 6 p.m. KSTV's Alex Isaiah got a chance to talk with Rob Marinaro after the loss to Miami as he talks about what needs to change for this Kent State team.
I mean, they got to bounce back. They got to understand that, this kind of work rate and fight isn't good enough, and it's not going to win you MAC games. I mean, this conference is way too strong to think that you're going to show up and just pass the ball around people. You got to step up and battle and work a lot harder than they are.
Heading into the MAC Center, the volleyball team hosted the Eastern Michigan Eagles for a doubleheader this weekend. After the Flashes took the first 2 sets, the Eagles responded and reverse swept the Flashes 3-2. Junior Kendall White recorded a double-double with 31 assists and 10 digs. In the second matchup, the Flashes could not fly with the Eagles as they were swept in 3 sets and went 0-2 in the doubleheader. The volleyball team will look to bounce back on Friday as they face the Buffalo Bulls.
Heading south, the field hockey team visited the Wake Forest Demon Deacons on Sunday down in North Carolina. The Flashes were unable to pick up the road win as Wake Forest took it by a 3-1 final. The lone scorer for Kent State was sophomore Eva Usov as she continues her stellar season with her now 4th goal in 3 games. Junior Allison Wood earned 7 saves as she tried her best to keep the Flashes in the game. Field hockey will return home Friday as they host Appalachian State at 2 p.m. at Murphy Mellis Field. And now going to our golden flashback, let's send you back to September 30th, 1995. The volleyball team took down the defending MAC champion Ball State Cardinals in a dominating 3-set matchup. Head coach Kevin Rentschler said, quote, "This is the first time we played an all-around game for the entire match, and we outblocked, out-hit, and outset Ball State in every statistical category," unquote. To reward his players, Coach Rentschler gave his team a day off from practice the next day. This put the Flashes at 12-3 overall and 5-1 in MAC play. This has been another Golden Flashback.
Day off of practice. That's serious. That's really serious.
Yes, indeed.
Well, football fans are getting spoiled right now. Every day of the week we have football to watch. We're going to kick things off with some Friday night lights. We take you out to Nordonia, where they are hosting the Twinsburg Tigers. The Knights having a stellar season thus far. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. The Knights do get this one started on the ground with a rushing touchdown from Rocco DiLorenzo. He fights through the Tigers defense. Nordonia up 7-0. Have you heard of the brotherly shove? I raise you the Nordonia nudge. QB Ben Chesser takes it in for 6. Nordonia leads 13-0 after a failed 2-point conversion. Twinsburg punts it away after another bad drive. And Owen Smott gets the rock and makes a house call. I mean, he shakes off 4, 5, 6 defenders and absolutely burns them. I mean, the Knights are riding up 23-0, and hey, it is still the first quarter. But hey, Twinsburg fans, we've got a bright spot in Tigers QB Joey Pollock with a crazy throw to Kyle Anello. He throws on the run and under pressure. That is a 69-yard touchdown. Really a nice job by the Tigers, managing to get another TD on the board and through this tough Nordonia defense. But unfortunately, the Tigers will fall short by a final score of 14-40.
All right, now let's take a look at some Friday night scores around the state in Week 6. Talmadge in a close matchup took down Revere. Avon and Olmsted Falls. The Eagles scored 28 straight to close out that matchup. Hoban and Mount Vernon, it was senior night for the Knights, and they won in a big way, running for 349 yards on offense. And in St. Xavier and Elder down in Cincy, Chase Herbstreit, the son of Kirk, the former Ohio State quarterback and ESPN broadcaster, he threw the go-ahead 58-yard touchdown pass with less than a minute to go. How about that? Some exciting stuff.
How about those Bombers? We love the Bombers up here. Anyways, college football never fails to amaze, and this past week was no exception. Come campus to campus with us and find out where the action took place.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it. I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Well, East Lansing is never an easy place to play. Well, unless your name is Jeremiah Smith and you're a true freshman wideout for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's go to Sparty Land as number 3 Ohio State went on the road to take on Michigan State. We'll pick this up early second quarter. Buckeyes up 3, 4th and goal. Will Howard to G. Scott Jr. for the touchdown. It's 10-0 Buckeyes. After Jordan Turner picked off Howard on the very next play, Aiden Childs hits Jerron Glover for the score, and now it's 10-7 as that gets the Sparty fans a little excited down in East Lansing. But on the next drive, Jeremiah Smith will get the end around, he gets the first down, and he gets the 19-yard touchdown. It's his second first-half touchdown of the night. It's 17-7. In the second half, Buckeyes up 17, and Howard looking to add on to the herd as there's Emeka Ebuka for the 33-yard score. Howard went 21 of 31 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Later in the third, Howard's going to keep it himself and run it in for the touchdown. 38-7 as the Buckeyes go into that state up north and take down Michigan State 38-7.
Hi, I'm sports correspondent Ryan Mead, and I'm here to bring all your college football updates from this weekend as we go campus to campus. And first, we will go to the Hurricanes as they took on Virginia Tech in Miami. And Cam Ward is going to drop back to throw, and he's going to throw a laser into the end zone. And Cam Ward is going to drop back to throw, and he's going to throw a laser into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown to tie the game 7-7. What an amazing throw. And Kyron Drones will hand this one off, and he's going to break a tackle, and he just could go all the way into the end zone to tie the game in the second quarter. That was an amazing run. And now in the fourth, Kyron Drones is going to throw this one. He's under pressure. He's got to throw this one, and he's going to throw it into the end zone, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. What an amazing play. And now Cam Ward's going to take the handoff and throw to the end zone. It's going to be caught for a touchdown to give the Hurricanes the lead here late. And now here's the final play of the game. As Drones is going to look to throw, he's going to launch this one into the end zone, and it will be, is that a catch? Unreal. On the field, they will call it a catch, but it's going to go into review, and we'll see what they do. We'll see what they call it here. This is an amazing play, super close, and they will call it incomplete. So the Hurricanes are going to win this one. It'll be an amazing game.
An awesome one down in the ACC. Let's go to the SEC. Kentucky going into number 6 Ole Miss. Late first half, Kentucky on the move. Down 4. Brock Vandegrift hits Dane Key for the touchdown. It's 10-7 Wildcats at the break. Fast forward to the third. Each team gets a field goal, and Jackson Dart hits Trey Harris. And Harris is off to the races for a 48-yard touchdown. Harris had 11 catches for 176 yards, and that touchdown, it's 17-13. In the fourth, Wildcats with the ball, 4th and 7. How about Barryon Brown going down the sideline, stays in bounds, and turns on the afterburners. Kentucky now in the red zone. 2 plays later, Gavin Wimsatt gets the handoff. He fumbles, but it's recovered by Josh Caddis for the score. Take a look at this. Ball pops out, but Caddis, right place, right time. That counts as a rushing touchdown. So Josh Caddis on the ground, 2 yards and a score. It's 20-17, stunning Ole Miss fans. But there's a lot of time left for the Rebels. And Caden Davis will line up for a 48-yard field goal for the tie. No good. Hooked it left, and for the first time since 1978, Kentucky gets a win in Oxford.
Now for the game everyone's been waiting for. Georgia on the road visiting Alabama. Bama up 14-0. Jalen Milroe hands it off to Jeremy Bernard, who finds the corner for the touchdown. The Tide is rolling up 21-0. 4th and 1 for Bama. Milroe decides he's going to take it himself on the read option. He skitters out to the side and picks up 35 yards. And wouldn't you just know, he also picks up a rushing touchdown. This almost doesn't seem fair at this point. Alabama up 28-0, but the Dogs bite back to the tune of 15 points. Carson Beck slinging it to Lawson Lucky. Bobbles it, but still manages to reel that ball in. Georgia trails 21-33. Georgia looking to make this a one-score game, and they do. Beck feels the pressure and connects with Dylan Bell. Bell says, "Get off of me, I am headed to the end zone." Georgia leads at 34-33 for the first time in the game. But in the end, it is the Tide with the knockout punch. Just look at this. Milroe to Ryan Williams. This kid is 17. He can't drink or gamble, but he sure can break the ankles. That house call is absolutely spectacular. Beck has a Hail Mary heave here, trying to do something, but it gets picked off by Zabian Brown, and Alabama wins this thriller 41-34.
Oh my goodness, talk about an instant classic. Well, here's a look at the AP poll going into Week 6. Alabama #1 after that Georgia win. The Bulldogs drop 3 spots to 5. Mizzou and Michigan both catapult to the top 10, and Miami drops after a close finish with VT. Liv, anything stands out to you from that?
I mean, honestly, Alabama making that jump all the way up to first place. I'd love to say that it wasn't warranted, but anyone who watched that game knows how much Bama earned that #1 spot. I mean, start to finish, sure, it got a little rocky in that third and fourth quarter, but it was absolute dominance by Alabama, and they managed to close that game out in a fashion that I think Nick Saban would absolutely be proud of.
Yeah, he was in the building.
He was, yeah.
He definitely would have been. Well, let's bring Ryan Mead back. Ryan, you just saw a whole lot of craziness in college football this past Saturday. We just saw Alabama be #1. Do you think that's the right call?
I mean, we have a bunch of like really good teams here. I think that we could make the case for Texas as #1 team here if you wanted to, but you have to say Alabama's #1 here. I mean, you just beat Georgia, who presumptively is the #1 team, like as the past couple years. But I think you can make the case for Texas with a backup quarterback. They've been able to beat some pretty good teams here, but I think Alabama's the right call.
Well, we know that, not one player makes a team, but who are some players from teams that have stood out to you?
Well, for me, it has to be Boise State's Ashton Jeanty has been spectacular this season. He is off to a crazy season, 850 yards in 4 games, 13 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know if any other player's ever done anything like that before through 4 games. So I think he was absolutely spectacular this weekend.
And as you know, with this new 12-team playoff, a group of 5 team is an automatic bid into that seeding. Which team do you think is going to be that one to snag the 12th spot?
I mean, it's really, as of right now, it's down to 3 teams, I think. UNLV, Boise State, and James Madison. UNLV, they have just lost their quarterback, unfortunately, and their starting running back, so it might not be them. Boise State, they just barely lost to Oregon, and they also had a couple of interesting games where they gave up a bunch of points to a couple teams, but I think you have to look at James Madison here. They are looking really good. Undefeated currently. They had a great game against North Carolina where they beat them 70-50. So I think that they're the best chance right now.
There's a lot of movement in college football, and Ryan Mead was able to break it down for us. Thanks, Ryan.
This week, our CFB Spotlight is not on a player, it's on 2 entire teams. Army and Navy have been exceptional thus far in 2024, starting the year at a combined 8-0 or 4-0 apiece. As things stand right now, they are tied for first place in the American Conference and are each 3-0 in conference play. What makes this so intriguing from a fan standpoint is that for the first time ever, the Army-Navy game could have legitimate playoff implications. Should each service academy finish the season undefeated or with 1 loss, the winner of the Army-Navy game could very well end up as the highest-ranked group of 5 team, thus earning a spot in the 12-team college football playoffs. The Midshipmen and the Black Knights are 5th and 1st in the nation in run yards, respectively, per game, and are both averaging over 36 points per game. Army is at Tulsa in their next contest, while Navy travels to Air Force in a Service Academy showdown. We'll see how things play out, but this is an all-new storyline that we hope gets more attention if both teams keep on winning. Week 4 of the NFL season is in the books, and just as we expected, nothing is going as we expected. Come with us and embrace the chaos around the NFL.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Well, for the first time in history, the Cleveland Browns went to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. But could they leave the City of Sin with a win? Let's head to Allegiant Stadium to find out, as there's a look at Deshaun Watson. He's looking to get his team back to 500. First drive of the game, Watson. Now a lot of tight ends have been injured, so how about Blake Whiteheart getting the first score of the afternoon? It's 7-0 Browns. It's the 3rd straight game that a Browns touchdown has happened on the opening drive. In the second half, Vegas up 3. Watson looking for reliable Amari Cooper. He was anything but on that play. It's picked off by Trevon Merrick, and the Raiders will take over. On the ensuing drive, Raiders looking to strike in the red zone. It's an end around with Trey Tucker breaking tackles, making moves, and flipping into the end zone for the touchdown. How about the second-year man out of Cincinnati, giving the Raiders a 20-10 lead with that? First play of the 4th quarter, This is Isaiah McGuire with the strip and Rodney McLeod with the scoop and score from 25 yards out. Dustin Hopkins would miss the extra point, so it remains 20-16 Raiders. But with less than a minute to go in the fourth, 4th and goal for the Browns. 4th and 3, as Watson rolls, he's sacked by Charles Snowden. It's over. The Raiders hang on to win it by the final of 20-16.
Good evening. My name is Evan Schofield, and I'm going to take you around the NFL. Let's start over in Atlanta. We have a divisional match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And we're going to start with a punt here, and Rashica, he's going to drop it, and Kadero Hodge is going to pick it up for the Falcons touchdown. It's going to be 7-0 Falcons. That'll be a really quick touchdown for them, and let's see how the Saints respond with 8 minutes in the second. And Carr's going to pass. It's going to be tipped by Matt Judon and picked off by Troy Anderson. He's going to go past the 30. He's going to go past the 20. Olave is going to tackle him. No, he's not. He's going to take it to the house. He's going to make this a tie game pending a field goal. All right, we got 1:56 in the fourth now, and Carr's going to hit Ohio State product Chris Olave down to the 1. Saints trying to tie the game here. All right, 3rd and goal. 1 yard, 1 man to do it. That is Kamara, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Saints will be 1 point ahead. Kirk Cousins, 30 seconds to go. He's in the clutch. He drops back, and the pass is incomplete for Darnell Mooney. But wait, there's a pass interference call, so Koo is going to get in range for 58 yards. 7 seconds to go in the fourth now, and Koo's going to attempt a 58-yarder. It is good. 26-24 will be the final score. Let's take it over to Matt in Houston.
From one game in a South Division to another, this time in the AFC, Jaguars and Texans. C.J. Stroud against Trevor Lawrence in a fun quarterback matchup. The Jaguars are going to take over after Houston muffed the punt on their opening drive, and Brian Thomas Jr. with the touchdown catch. 7-0 Jacksonville. How will Stroud and company respond? Well, on the ensuing drive, Stephon Diggs, who threw a touchdown last week, will run it in this week. And we are all knotted up at 7 early on. In the second quarter, Jacksonville up by a field goal. Houston looking to strike, and they do with Nico Collins on 3rd and goal for the score. It's 14-10 Texans. Each team puts in 3 as we're midway through the third quarter. Lawrence hits Christian Kirk for his first receiving touchdown of the year. It's 20-17 Jags. In the fourth, Texans looking to lead in the final moments, and they do thanks to Dare Ogunbowale. It's 24-20 Houston. That would be the final. The Texans now go to 3-1, and the Jaguars extend their streak to not winning a game that goes back to week 12 of last year.
Pittsburgh still undefeated with Justin Fields under center. Could he take them to 4-0? Let's see. First quarter, Indy leads it. Anthony Richardson with the ball, and he gets hit hard, and that ends up being a bit of a hip injury for Richardson. He does unfortunately leave that game, but it was announced he did avoid major injury, and they are expected to have him back this week. But in the meantime, Joe Flacco comes in, and he gets off to a very hot start. His very first pass, a 4-yard pass to Josh Downs, and Indy leads it 14-0. The Steelers starting slow so far in this one. Colts back on offense, 3rd and 10. Flacco with time and a clean pocket steps up and connects with Drew Ogletree. He dives and picks up 6. Colts are rolling up 24-10. The Steelers are down, but they are not out. Fields fires to Pat Freiermuth, the big tight end from Penn State, fights and stretches his way for a touchdown, but sadly, it is too little, too late. The Colts end the Steelers' undefeated campaign with a final score of 24-27.
All right, let's now welcome back Evan Schofield. And Evan, we are 4 weeks down in the NFL season.
Yeah.
Any teams that stand out to you?
Give me the Washington Commanders.
Okay. Nice.
Give me the Washington Commanders because they were counted out from their whole division all offseason, right? They're number 1 in the division. They're 3-1, and Jaden Daniels is looking incredible. He's looking like the rookie of the year, right? I mean, he's the real deal. He went 26 for 30, touchdown, interception. Not the best stats, right? I mean, they're okay, but Washington's offense with Cliff Kingsbury has been incredible. And he even got a game ball. He got a game ball last week because of how good his scheme was. It was just so impressive, and no one really expected this out of this Washington team. That's just what I think about it, and the defense too. Recording 4 sacks, holding the Cards to 296 yards, and Marv had a touchdown, but look, 296 total yards in a game. I mean, that's an incredible defensive performance, and they lead their division, and I think going forward, they're just going to be an incredible team, and it's one to watch out for.
Well, we'll see them face the Browns this week. And speaking of, we saw the Browns and the Steelers, so what are your takeaways from the AFC North this week?
Well, the whole offseason, we all expected the AFC North to be competitive, rough, smash-mouth football. But it wasn't so good at the start. The Ravens went 0-3 to start. No, the Bengals went 0-3 to start. Ravens 1-2 right now, but they're getting their groove back, and Joe Burrow is getting his groove back too. The Browns, they have O-line issues, and they're coming back. They're trying to get up to 500, and so do the Steelers. They're losing all their best players due to injury, and this division is going to come close. It always does every year. You never know how it's going to work out at the end, and I don't know. I think in the end, each team is really going to compete for a playoff spot, because we're seeing now the Bengals they always start slow, and they're always going to come back and win. And I just think every team has a chance. They do have a chance for sure.
And there are a lot of veteran quarterbacks out there. To you, who is making the best comeback in that term?
Give me Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Matt, Sam Darnold.
That's a good one.
Look, no one would have ever expected Sam Darnold to come in for the Vikings and just take over for J.J. McCarthy and have 11 touchdowns in 4 games. 11 touchdowns. I think does that lead the league? I believe so. That leads the league. I mean, look, he has no plan of slowing down. And with another 3 touchdown performance, he's looking like one of the best in the league, statistically. And, honestly, with Justin Jefferson as his weapon, I mean, there is no ceiling. So, yeah. Give me Sam Darnold. Let's do it.
Who would have thought, right? Well, thanks, Evan. We appreciate it.
We now head to an update for the Titans and the Dolphins. Right now, not a lot of fun action. The Titans have knotted 2 field goals. That's pretty cool thus far. We got word a little bit earlier that Will Levis went out with injury, and Steelers hero Mason Rudolph is in at quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how he does up against Tyler Snoop Huntley, who's starting for the Dolphins. Still a lot of action left, so it's going to be a good game for sure. Did you get your daily dose of vitamin C today? That's C standing for Cleveland. Of course, our own Timmy Carlisle breaks down everything going on in the land when we return.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Talking with Timmy, the segment where I take you through a look at what's happening in Cleveland sports. This week, the Browns fell to a record of 1-3, and the Guardians wrapped up their regular season. Now let's have a listen to some of the Browns head coach's thoughts.
Yeah, I thought Deshaun battled. There were obviously some really good moments on there. It's disappointing when you make a play and it comes back due to penalty. Again, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that part of it, but I thought he battled.
There you go, folks. We got some coach speak from Kevin Stefanski, and what a change of pace for Browns fans. I mean, the Browns started at 1-1, and that's when we started on Sportscorner a couple weeks ago to talk about them, and they now are sitting at 1-3, dropping their next 2 games, and it's not looking good for the Browns. They need to remember that there's no I in team. It's not going to be all on Deshaun Watson. They're going to need the rest of the team to step up with them. And I think Browns fans are right back to eyeing that panic button. A couple weeks ago, I said they should be over that first week loss and look ahead as we go into week 3. And now we're going into week 5 and we're sitting at 1-3. Things are not looking good for the Browns. If you're in their shoes, it's really difficult right now to get ahead of the teams in your division when you're starting off from behind. It's definitely not going to get easier as the season moves forward. They haven't even played the division yet. They don't face an AFC North opponent until week 8 when they take on the Ravens. This week, there was just too many self-inflicted wounds for the Browns. As they said on the radio, the Browns were constantly tripping over their own feet with penalties. There was a holding call that took points off the board for the Browns late in the game, and that just can't happen. If the Browns are going to jump ahead this week, they're going to need to turn things around on their own end first. Now, speaking of this week, we're going to take a look at who they've got in week 5. We heard just a little bit ago on Sportscorner, the Browns will be facing the Washington Commanders, who have a record of 3-1 as we take them on this week in Washington. Quarterback Jaden Daniels, is looking to really keep things going for the Commanders as they are doing pretty good themselves, and the Browns have struggled facing against NFC East opponents. We've not done well against that division so far this season. Well, I'm excited to watch the Browns play this Sunday, and I can't wait to see how the team does. With that being said, we're going to jump ahead to the Cleveland Guardians. Let's hear what their skipper had to say after a couple weeks ago when Kyle Manzardo, the rookie, had a big game.
Everyone who grows up wanting to play baseball has pretended that moment has happened from the time they could walk and loved baseball. And the smile on his face, looking back at our dugout, that was incredible. But my favorite part was Naylor at second base, standing there watching it, cheering, waiting for him at home plate with a smile on his face. You know, that's the kind of stuff that this team does.
You get a little emotional. I mean, you're proud of the way they play.
I love these guys. They're so much fun to watch. They love each other. They work hard. That was an emotional night. And to see two teammates come together like that, that's powerful.
And that was the look as Josh Naylor stood on second base and watched the ball fly out of the ballpark. That's exactly what Vogue was talking about. I mean, did the Guardians pick the right guy for the job or what? Can you believe it? American League Central Division champions for the Cleveland Guardians in their first season with a new manager. Talk about, he had big shoes to fill filling in for the legend Terry Francona, and I'd say he's done an excellent job leading his team to a division title. With that being said, we got playoffs going on in Cleveland, and it's time to get ready because the Cleveland Guardians will be facing the winner of Houston versus Detroit, and that series will start on Saturday in the American League Division Series. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs? Can you believe it? I am shocked. This Guardians team was counted out by many, and all season they've won months. The only month that they didn't win was last month when they had a record of 12-17. Other than that, they've won 5 out of the 6 months they've played baseball. You do that, you win series, you win months, you're going to be a good baseball team. Their manager believes in this team. That's a big aspect of when your coach believes in you, you're going to be able to do great things. You have to believe in yourself and know that others believe in you, and we'll watch how far this team goes in October. Now, Jose Ramirez did not reach the 40-40 season like we talked about on the last episode of Sports Corner, but they didn't play a full 162-game season. The Guardians' last game of the season was canceled yesterday due to a rainout. Now, with that being said, Jose Ramirez did finish with 40 stolen bases, 39 doubles, and 39 home runs, making him just 1 double and 1 home run away from being the 7th player ever to hit for 40-40-40 in a season. Hats off to Jose Ramirez, and the Guardians are looking to make damage in October. Now, we are excited to keep things rolling here on Sports Corner. Once again, that's going to run out of the time that I've got for y'all today. That's going to conclude another Talking with Timmy, the final one of September. Next, keeping our show moving along, it's time to send it back to Liv for some baseball. Here's the windup and the pitch.
And Timmy, you knocked it out of the park. Well, The Gardos have already clinched the AL Central, but the 1 seed was still in play when they took the Astros on Saturday. Let's get to the highlight. This would end up being the last game of the season. No, it was the last game of the series. Let's get to it. 2 on, 2 out. Zach DeZenzo with a fly ball that drops right in front of Tyler Freeman, and that'll score Kyle Tucker. Astros lead 1-0. Justin Verlander on the ball for Houston, and he comes face-to-face with Jose Ramirez, who lifts his 39th homer out to right field to give the Guards a 2-1 lead. Bases loaded for Ben Lively, and DeZenzo hits a chopper short, but an error by Brian Rocchio scores 2 more runs for the Stros. You know, just a rough play there by Rocchio, and unfortunately this strikeout will ice it. Bang the trash cans, Astro fans. Houston takes this one 4-3.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Williams. I'm going to take you around the diamond and give you some recaps of the games this week. Starting out in Milwaukee, we have the Mets and the Brewers with a runner in scoring position. Brandon Nimmo pokes one into shallow center field, allowing Francisco Lindor to cruise on home. That brings the Mets up by 1 run. Top of the 4th, another runner in scoring position. Francisco Alvarez pulls one into deep left field, allowing JD Martinez to score. Mets now up 2-0. Continuing in the 4th, runners on first and second. Francisco Lindor smokes a ball into deep right field. Another run scores for the Mets. The Mets are now up 3-0. Top of the 6th, Mets put on another run. Lindor hits an absolute moonshot. This is the final nail in the coffin for the Brewers. This is the bottom of the 9th. Edwin Diaz paints the inside of the plate, ending the game. The Mets put a beat down on the Brewers with a final score of 5-0.
And from one NL East team to another, the Braves are hosting the Royals on Sunday. Charlie Morton getting the start. It's a win and in situation for Atlanta, but it's not going to start pretty. Michael Massey with a 3-run shot at the top of the 1st. It's 3-0 Royals just like that. Bottom 3, Alec Marsh facing Gio Urshela, and Urshela will hit one out of here, his 9th home run of the year. It's 3-1 Royals. Top 4, Hunter Renfroe. Survey says home run is the #1 answer. Royals get 1 back. It's 4-1 KC. Bottom 4, 2 on for Ramon Laureano. There is an RBI single that gets through into left center field that will score Matt Olson, and Atlanta cuts the deficit in half. It's 4-2, but bottom 9, Ozzie Albies, representing the tying run with 2 strikes, grounds one to Bobby Witt Jr. Ball game. 4-2 Royals is the final. The Braves need 1 win today to clinch. We'll have more from that later.
We head out to Arizona where they host the Padres. Top of the 2nd, runner on first, Elias Diaz with a dribbler out to left field. That's an RBI double, and Nick Ahmed scores. Padres lead it 1-0. We now head to the bottom of the 4th. Gabriel Moreno sends it way out to left field, but that's not quite a home run. That rebounds off of the bleachers, and Eugenio Suarez scores, and the D-backs lead it 3-1. Still bottom of the 4th. I'll take home run for 1,000. Alex, who is Ketel Marte? A 2-run homer puts Arizona up 1-6. Take a look at the ump cam. No doubt about it. See you later. The Diamondbacks are up 9-2. Let's tack on a few more, shall we? Randall Grichuk going, gone. And I think the Padres have had enough of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Snakes take it 11-2.
All right, well, today was the final day of the Major League Baseball regular season with the tiebreaker today. Let's take a look at the American League. Orioles, Royals, and Tigers, they're all in the mix in terms of the wild card race in the American League. 2 teams from the AL Central, who would have thought? And in the NL, Padres and Mets have clinched. The Braves won 3-0 earlier in Game 2. They are in. Diamondbacks are now out. So we have a full official playoff picture. Let's bring David Williams back onto the desk. And Liv, I know you have some questions for me.
I know. I mean, the playoffs start tomorrow. And David, when we get to the World Series, who are your top prospects?
Well, Liv, for me, the only real question is who's going to win the American League.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at it, the National League is absolutely dominated by the Dodgers. Essentially, they have the Avengers on their roster, and they're going to dominate in the postseason. For the American League, though, I have 2 prospects in mind, either the Guardians or the Yankees. I'm a known Guards fan, and I hate the Yankees with a burning passion. So it hurts my heart to say that I think the Yankees are going to take the crown for the American League. I mean, when you look at the series between the 2 teams, the Yankees won 4 out of 6 games, and 3 of them were by a significant margin. However, these scores mean absolutely nothing because in baseball the tide can turn so easily. Just because you go on a run against a team does not mean that you can't upset them. I do think it's a little too close to call, but Aaron Judge is leading the MLB in RBIs. Jose Ramirez has the third most, but he's trailing by a very large margin. Judge also is the home run leader, and he also has the highest on-base percentage in the MLB. So he's going to be a huge obstacle for anyone in the American League.
You know, you compared the Dodgers to the Avengers earlier. So what can other teams can make a run and have that label as kind of like a super team?
Yeah, so that's exactly what they are, Matt, is a super team. When you look at their rosters, they're absolutely stacked with the likes of Yamamoto, Glasnow, and most notably Shohei Ohtani. And they come pretty gutsy when it comes close to draft time. They continuously sign international amateurs, and it continues to pay off for them. On top of their coaching staff, which quite frankly is the cream of the crop. They are arguably have the best player development in the game of baseball. The Dodgers give athletes opportunities that other teams can't. Their training technology is top tier. Their performance science is groundbreaking. And with all that being said, because of how good they are, they've sort of become the villain of Major League Baseball, in my opinion. A lot of people are starting to resent them because of how good they are. And how can you not? They'll go up against your favorite team and absolutely mollywop them. There's nothing you can do about it. When we get to the World Series, whoever goes up against the Dodgers is the underdog. I have a sneaking suspicion that the Dodgers will not win over the public's opinion.
Probably not. Well, earlier you mentioned that the Guardians, they have a chance to take home a title. Do you think they can actually do it?
I think they have a shot. A World Series title, however, as history tends to repeat itself, is not looking bright for them. I don't want to jinx them, but it's not looking so good for Cleveland. I mean, they currently hold the longest World Series drought in the MLB, and they're coming up on beating the record for the longest drought. It's been 75 seasons since they've won a World Series title, and it's not been since 1948 since they've won one. They came close in 2016 against the Cubs, and they came up empty-handed. This is probably their best chance to win, but it's not necessarily a good chance because there's a decent opportunity that they're going to go up against the Dodgers, and that's going to be David versus Goliath. Mm-hmm. And they're really going to have to work some magic in this offseason, or postseason.
Well, David and Goliath, I mean, I'm just saying. Anyways.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun one. October's here, and David Williams is here to break it all down. Thanks, David.
Welcome.
Well, sad news hit the sports world tonight. Cincinnati Reds legend Pete Rose passed away this evening. Rose is Major League Baseball's all-time leader in hits and played from 1963 through 1986. Pete Rose was 83 years old.
I got you. Oh, yeah, I got him.
Stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake. Oh!
I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him. Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
I know kids worry about a lot of things.
Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. As promised, let's get into our award-winning segments. And speaking of awards, I've got a roundup of all the WNBA awards. They were announced in stages as the playoffs started to ramp up, and we now have some of the list of awards and honors. To start, Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx picked up the Defensive Player of the Year award. She averaged 1.91 steals per game and 7.5 defensive rebounds per game. Asia Wilson was named the unanimous MVP, the third time she has gotten the honor. Wilson had what was quite possibly the greatest WNBA season of all time, surpassing 1,000 points, and she broke the single-season rebound record. She also averaged 26.9 points per game, another record broken, so this announcement was merely a formality. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, Liv, who won Rookie of the Year? Well, I am thrilled to announce that we do not know. It has been reported that standout Caitlin Clark has won, but there has been no official announcement from the WNBA. Nonetheless, all of these players have had spectacular seasons, and the playoffs are just getting good, so stay tuned.
Let's get chaotic. Coming into today, the Braves, Mets, and Diamondbacks were all tied for the wildcard spots in the National League. And to decide on who gets in, Atlanta and New York played a doubleheader at Truist Park today. The Mets won Game 1 in a crazy game with 3 different lead changes in the final 2 innings. And in Game 2, Atlanta shut out the Mets 3-0. So both teams out of the NL East are now in the postseason, and Arizona, the defending National League champs, mind you, are out. We have seen some crazy scenarios in the final days of the regular season in big league history, including a couple of Game 163s. There was even an instance in 2018 where we had 2 different division tiebreakers decided by 9 innings of ball. Those games were won by the Brewers and Dodgers as they would eventually meet in the NLCS, with LA winning the pennant. But nothing quite like this. Today was suspenseful, heart-stopping, dramatic, and of course, chaotic. That's why this National League wildcard race is this week's highlight of Kuraly Chaos. All right, well, here in Kent State, we celebrated homecoming this weekend. So for tonight, we wanted to ask, who in sports would you put on homecoming court? I will start because I got a kind of a crazy one.
Okay.
I'll just get out and say it. Asia Wilson for the Queen,
Good
right?
pick, good pick.
Now, you look at who she plays for, Vegas Aces. Vegas, now homecoming, to me, I view it as a celebration.
Okay.
Vegas is a celebration type of city.
Where's this going?
Asia Wilson, Gardner Minshew.
Oh my God.
That duo is awesome to me. You got the craziness of Gardner Minshew. You've got the calmness of Asia Wilson. I think those two can match. I really like that one.
I actually really like that too.
Thank you.
We all have very different reasonings behind what ours is, and I love the Vegas party city atmosphere. I love it. I think it's great. I went in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
I try to go for people that no one can really dislike. I mean, they might have some qualms with them, but just really likable athletes who you would vote for, and you'd be like, I want them to represent the school.
Yeah.
For Queen, Simone Biles.
Yeah,
that
fits the
she's
mold.
the queen of gymnastics, homecoming queen, it just fits. And for football, I wanted to do a football player for this one, for the King. So I had a really hard time picking this because, let's be honest, every football player has someone who just hates them, whether it's the opposing rival team. But I picked Peyton Manning. Because who doesn't like Peyton Manning? He's just so wholesome, and he's got that new commercial where he paints and stuff, and I just crack up every time. So my king and queen are Simone Biles and Peyton Manning.
You know, real quick before we send it to the couch, it could have been very easy for you to pick Jonathan Owens.
No.
Simone's husband who plays for the Chicago Bears.
Okay,
safety.
but not everyone loves Jonathan Owens because of some illogical comments he made. So I wasn't going to pick that, and I didn't want to pick a couple, because if I would have gone couple, I would have done Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And then I would have gotten yelled at by many people on the couch. Speaking of the couch.
Go ahead. Let's start with David Williams, because he's got something up his sleeve. He was telling us before the break.
I've got a few candidates. One, I would just like to point out, Liv, I would absolutely vote for Peyton Manning.
Right?
Everyone knows I'm the world's biggest Peyton Manning fan. He is the whole reason that I became a Broncos fan to begin with back in elementary school. Peyton Manning will always have my heart, so I would vote for him immediately. For King, I have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's arguably one of the most popular athletes right now. I'm not his biggest fan, but I also think it's fitting. He is one of the most popular quarterbacks in the NFL, one of the most popular athletes in general. For Queen, that's a little more difficult. I personally would like to go with Caitlin Clark. She again is one of the most popular athletes right now. However, you could argue Angel Reese, kind of her rival, and I think they could battle it out for Queen. So those are my.
It could come down to the wire in terms of voting.
Yeah, those are my picks.
Yeah.
Good picks.
All right, Evan Schofield, what you got?
Yeah, well, Liv Sharp over here stole my pick. It was Simone Biles, but here's what we're gonna say: Homecoming King and Queen, right? They're winners. They love winning. They love it, right? That's all they do. They win. They get these high ratings. They get voted for. They win. So for my male candidate, I'm gonna go with the winner, Sidney Crosby.
Wow!
Wow! That's a good pick.
Underrated winner.
Sid the Kid.
That's
a
Sid
great
the Kid,
pick.
Penguins
That's a really good
legend. He wins championships. He wins Rookie of the Year. He wins Best Player of the Year. He doesn't stop winning.
pick. That's a good pick.
So
How about that?
now that
I
it's
like that
Simone
pick.
Biles, we'll go for gold medals. So it's pretty good to put them together. Those would be my picks, and I think they're very valid.
Very good.
Ryan, what you got?
I mean, well, speaking of winning, I think that we have to go with look at LSU, and I think we have to go with Livy Dunn and then Joe Burrow, both national champions from a couple years ago. So great winners. I think that's what you got to go with.
So I'll ask the same question that I asked Liv, because it could have been easy for you to be like, okay, Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens, because they're a couple. I just want to know your thought process on that. Did you think about Paul Skeens when you were thinking about this, the answer to this question?
I mean, I really wasn't thinking of Paul Skeens because I think that Joe Burrow is just a better fit in this situation. I mean, I think he fits the scheme a little better for a homecoming king.
And Livy Dunn was your pick for Queen?
Exactly.
Despite her not being even the best athlete on that LSU gymnastics
Liv,
team?
you don't like that choice?
No, I don't.
Why? What's wrong?
Because she's not the best gymnast on the LSU gymnastics team.
So she's the most popular.
Exactly.
I mean, look.
Is this not kind of a popularity contest?
You know what? That's a very valid point.
All right, Timmy.
Enough of our quarreling.
That's how
Timmy?
homecoming works.
Oh boy, I'm really nervous for you because you
Especially after
threw us a curveball last week.
All right.
What do you have now?
So I'm very proud to say I'm not going too out of the box this week, and I fit the theme of everyone else. I like that. You know what? We'll get there in a second. I'm going to do this announcement style, just like when you were back in high school. You had the assembly, the whole school's there. Everyone's waiting to see who the homecoming king, queen
here we
is.
go.
Turn his mic down.
With the 2024 Homecoming Sports Corner King and Queen, I will start with my queen. Ladies first. I'm going with an Olympian, like some of you picked, Katie Ledecky.
Yes!
Female swimmer.
Feed me, Katie Ledecky.
Most decorated Olympian of all time.
That's a good pick.
Now, jumping over to the men, we have our homecoming Sports Corner royalty, the king,
Don't say it.
LeBron James. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I went with the flag bearers. They bared the flag at the Olympics,
that's
representing
right.
Team
Good.
USA, and in my eyes, that is royalty.
That is
LeBron and Katie
Bearing the
Ledecky,
flag. It
very
basically
solid
makes them like
homecoming
the king and queen of
king and
America.
queen.
So I
Pretty
absolutely,
much.
that's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because we look at the Olympics. It happened for so long.
It did.
But then you blink and it's already football season. So now we're kind of getting into this new groove of like, okay, now we're kind of transitioning away from the Olympics. We've got October baseball coming up.
October
We've got the NFL in full swing along with college football. We're going to have NBA and NHL start. So
This is like peak. This is the peak sports season. I believe October 28th is what people refer to as like the best day of sports because there's NBA, NHL, there should be playoff baseball, and I believe there's actually a football game that day. So that's like a total eclipse of the sports.
So we're going to ask the couch first. With us being in this time of year, what are you most looking forward to? We'll start with David.
So, I know Timmy's definitely excited about it too. Guards looking at a playoff run?
Oh.
Possibly World Series?
They are the best that they've looked in close to 10 years.
They're looking really good.
So,
I will
not
be very
too far-fetched.
heartbroken if they don't take advantage of this opportunity, because who knows how long it'll be before we see it again. Is it going to be another 75 seasons? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope this is the year. If they do lose, you will see some serious emotions out of me. I'll cry. I'll be angry. I'll go through all the stages of grief.
Right.
Because this is their opportunity, and I would love to see it happen.
I agree with you, but the thing is, something I want to bring attention to that I don't think we've talked about. In the spring, I looked dead in this camera and I said, the Guardian ceiling is 80 wins.
You did say that a couple episodes ago.
I did say that. I believe the Guardian ceiling was 80 wins, and I said Stephen Vogt was going to be a bad skipper. And boy,
Wow,
you
said Stephen Vogt was going to be a bad skipper?
I said, since he had no leadership experience,
Talk about
I truly...
the sharpest take.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
It was a little rough. It was the lip jinx. It's okay. I truly didn't think he had what it took to be, a great manager. But honestly, if he does not win Manager of the Year, I will be absolutely heartbroken, because what he has put into this team has been spectacular, and I absolutely think that they have a chance to really go all the way. What are you excited for, Evan?
Give me Bucco's baseball. Oh, they didn't make the playoffs. Sorry. Let's see.
Crazy dig.
Let's see here. We're all excited for football season. It is 4 weeks in. Everything is unpredictable. Mason Rudolph is starting for the Titans right now.
He is.
What's going on?
He's taking snaps under center.
October football is really good. It's always been good. It's never not good. Who doesn't want to sit next to a fire, all cozied up, watching football, making nachos, eating pizza? It's the prime time of the NFL.
Well,
and that's my opinion.
Absolutely. We would love to keep going in this, but we are unfortunately out of time. But there is another Monday night game again. Liv?
It is the Lions and the Seahawks. Fun fact, the Lions have never beat the Seahawks, but they are primed to do that tonight, as the Lions are up 14-0 in the second quarter. Montgomery with a rushing touchdown and Gibbs with a rushing touchdown. That one's going to be a really, really interesting one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, absolutely.
Lions look good.
They do look good.
Lions look good. Well, that will do it for us tonight on Sports Corner. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all updates from us 24/7, follow us across social media at TV2 KSE Sports. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrali, saying wherever the ball flies in the air, Kent Stater TV will be there. Good night.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, have a good time. Seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Jimmy
Timmy can't sing.
And Tommy can't dance.
So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants.